So we are proceeding towards our formal session. So I'm looking forward. We are not doing GSL today as we are limited of time, and we also want to discuss the solutions and the draft resolutions. So we are going direct to moderated caucus. I'm looking forward in the moderated caucus some formal debate, solution-oriented debate. So are there any points of motion on the floor? Yes, delegate of Mexico.
The delegate of Mexico would like to raise a moderated caucus on the impact of coronavirus on the employment.
Okay, delegate, wait a minute. Time parameters?
Time parameters 10:1.
Okay, let me note it. Can you repeat, delegate?
The motion is that the effect of coronavirus on employment.
So I think so. We discussed it yesterday, like the economic employment is somehow related to economic side.
Delegate, since we discussed about socio-economic challenges of COVID-19, so I would recommend on behalf of all the committee directors that we should go for another caucuses that we had not discussed yesterday and we had to discuss today.
So that means the motion raised by Mexico is not in order. Are there any other points of motion on the floor? Yes, delegate of Bahrain.
Delegate of Bahrain would like to raise a motion to discuss the solution of COVID-19 from religious point of view for a time parameter of 10:1.
Can you repeat, please?
Delegate of Bahrain wants to raise a motion to discuss the solution of COVID-19 from religious point of view for time parameters of 10:1.
Okay.
Okay, so you want to discuss the religious point of view, the solutions of coronavirus through religious point of view.
Yes.
Okay. Are there any other points of motion on the floor?
Yes. Yes, Honorable Chair.
Thank you.
Yes, delegate of Jamaica.
The delegate of Jamaica would like to set the motion to that illiteracy is one of the biggest problem due to the spread of coronavirus.
Okay. So like you are willing to say that you need to discuss a solution regarding creating awareness about coronavirus, right?
No, I'm trying to say that main reason for the expansion of COVID-19.
So means reasons for the reasons. Time parameters, delegate.
And 20 minutes each delegate 60 seconds.
Okay. 60 seconds. Are there any other points or motions on the floor?
Delegates of Sweden.
Oh, I didn't recognize you. Please turn off your mic. Yes, delegate of Portugal.
Delegate of Portugal would like to raise a moderated caucus motion to look into the impact of COVID-19 on health and strategies to address them.
Okay, impact of COVID-19 on health sector. Okay, time parameters, delegate. Delegate of Portugal, time parameters for this caucus. Delegate of Portugal.
Okay, time parameters 20 minutes, 1 minute for each delegate.
And individual time? Delegate, individual time? Okay, so I'm setting individual time to 1 minute by my own self as delegate of Portugal is not able to reply. So we
And
are
the
first
delegate
going
of
to vote
Portugal
on.
said that
Okay, 1
1
minute.
minute.
Honorable delegates, we have message general that
I'm sorry.
ये क्यों बनो M3 के चाहते हो अरे इन्हें हाफ डिस्टेंस खनिया
Delegate of Portugal is experiencing some network challenges. Please pardon me, Your Honorable Chair.
Okay, so voting on the first caucus raised by delegate of Bahrain, that's the solution of COVID-19 from religious point of view. Total time 10 minutes and individual time 1 minute. All those wishing to vote on this caucus raised by delegate of Bahrain, please raise your hands.
Sir, can you please repeat the motion?
Yes, sure. The motion is raised by delegate of Bahrain, and the motion is solution of COVID-19 from religious point of view. Total time 10 minutes and individual time 1 minute. All those wishing.
Excuse me, Chair, sorry, Chair, I'm interrupting you. Can you please repeat all the three motions so we can just select one?
Sorry, delegate. We are going to announce motion one by one, but first we are looking in all three of these motions, and we are going to vote. Let everyone vote on the motion chronologically. We are following the time parameters as the preference for all of these motions. I cannot repeat all the three motions at a time. I'm going to repeat one motion at a time and letting you guys select whether you want to discuss it or not. So seeing only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 votes, the motion raised by delegate of Bahrain clearly fails. We are now moving towards another motion that was raised by delegate of Jamaica. That's reason for COVID-19, like basically the reasons for the spread of COVID-19, total time 20 minutes and the individual time 60 seconds. All those wishing to speak on this caucus raised by delegate of Jamaica, please raise your hands. Seeing 2 votes, this motion clearly fails. Voting on the last caucus raised by delegate of Portugal, that's impact of COVID-19 on the health sector, total time 20 minutes and individual time 1 minute. All those wishing to vote for the motion raised by delegate of Portugal, please raise your hands. This motion clearly passes. Now, delegate
Sir,
of
can you please repeat
Portugal.
the motion again? Sorry to disturb.
Yes, delegate. Impact of COVID-19 on the health sector and its solution. 21. Delegates, can you see the screen, the board and the timer? Can you see it clearly?
Yes, we
Yes,
can.
yes,
Yes. We can.
Yes.
yes.
So all the delegates wishing to speak on this motion, the impact of COVID-19 on the health sector and its solutions, please raise your hands.
Sorry, I'm not raising hand for this one. It's Brazil. Thank you.
All those whose names have been added, please lower down your hand. And also all those who don't wish to speak in this for this moderated caucus, lower down your hand. So for now, I'm just only entertaining these all delegates. After that, we are going to take other delegates too. So delegate of Portugal, you have floor for 60 seconds.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. COVID-19 has placed a huge burden on the health system of various countries. Too many lives have been lost. According to WHO, about 50,000 deaths has been recorded. Suicide continue to rise due to anxiety and fear emanating from news about the virus. According to a research done in US and Europe, 1% there is 1% rise in for every 1% rise in unemployment, it correlates with 1% rise in suicide. If interventions are not put in place, we are sure to experience more suicide in the coming days. Delegate of Portugal proposed that those who are displaced from their jobs should be given jobless claims in that they will be able to afford to live a decent life so that we'll be able to curtail the uprising numbers of suicide
Thank you,
due to
delegate.
this
Delegate, your time has
deadly.
elapsed. I would also like to mention, thank you, delegate, your time has elapsed. I would also like to mention that there is also a timer on the screen, so please take care of the time too, okay? Don't time out. Delegate of Zimbabwe, you have floor for 60 seconds. Delegate of Zimbabwe, you have been recognized. Seeing no response from delegate of Zimbabwe, we are moving to delegate of Jamaica. Delegate of Jamaica, you have floor for 60 seconds.
Hello, is my voice audible?
Yes.
So first of all, delegates, as it's the motion to about the health sector. Look, the many hospitals have been turned into COVID-19, and therefore the other patients are not allowing there. So what is the problem? If this happens, and because of this, what happens is there many people are not getting other treatments only because of this virus. Therefore, and about the solutions, right? Yes, many people have been cured, but more than cured, many also dying. The amount of death is more. And how to prevent it? People should wear masks or whether going to everywhere, as it spreads through air and by sneezing. Therefore, now the more attention should be given for making a vaccine rather than any other inventions. Why? Because now the pandemic in this time is COVID-19, and therefore if the scientists give more attention, can I end my speech?
No, speech is the permission is only to complete a sentence. Thank you, delegate. Yes, delegate of Philippines, you have floor for next 60 seconds.
Thank you, Honorable Dais, for recognizing Delegate of Philippines. The rapid spread of the coronavirus COVID-19 has sparked alarm worldwide. The World Health Organization has declared this rapidly spreading coronavirus a pandemic. This is a health threat unlike any other from the past. More than 1.2 million people have been infected and more than 60,000 people have lost their lives. We must declare war on this virus. That means countries have a responsibility to gear up, step up, and scale up by implementing effective containment strategies, by activating and enhancing emergency response system, by dramatically increasing testing capacity and care for patients, by readying hospitals, ensuring they have the space, supplies, and needed personnel, and by developing life-saving medical interventions. And all of us have a responsibility too, to follow medical advice and take simple practical steps recommended by health authorities. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes, delegate of Jordan, you have floor for next 60 seconds.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. The COVID-19 crisis is significantly affecting the health system's capacity all around the world, and I would like to issue some guidelines to my fellow members for upgrading their health system by relaxing entry barriers to ensure that retired physicians and nurses can return to work and that medical personnel can relocate seamlessly to cities and states in the greatest need. Use Medicare's payment system for COVID-19 tests and hospitals that install new ventilators and beds. Empower an ad-OC panel of experts to rapidly access whether newly manufactured ventilators and newly installed hospital capacity are serviceable. Expedite the review of new tests and of course potential treatments and vaccine. Considering the current situation, false positive and false negative tests can worsen strains on aspects of the health system. Tests with higher error rates can be worse than no tests.
Thank you, delegate. Your time has elapsed. Yes, delegate of Mexico, you have floor for next 60 seconds.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, for recognizing me. As we all know that as you declared the coronavirus as a pandemic, it is affecting and it is blowing the healthcare systems worldwide. The healthcare systems are lacking many things. They're lacking pharmaceuticals, equipment due to panic buying, and they're not did not have enough capacity to accommodate their patient. So what healthcare systems should do is that they should be prepared, stay informed about the local COVID-19 situation, establish relationships with key healthcare and public health partners in their communities, communicate about COVID-19 with their staffs, communicate about COVID-19 with their patients, screen patients and visitors from symptoms of acute respiratory illness should be tested, and the workforce should be protected, and all of the doctors should also oblige to this and protect themselves, separate patients with respiratory
Thank you, delegate.
symptoms so they are
Thank you,
not waiting
delegate.
among other patients
Delegate.
seeking care. Thank you.
Delegate.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, delegate of Bahrain, you have floor for next 60 seconds.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. As as we move to deal with the biggest crisis of humanity, even the world's best of the healthcare systems have failed. Healthcare workers have been the frontline force against this pandemic. They have put their lives on the line to save others in the fight against this pandemic. Many have died and thousands of them tested positive. A global shortage of protective equipment has added to the huge toll in their physical and mental being. It is clear that everyone does not need to wear these masks and protective equipments. The Kingdom of Bahrain proposes to ban the supply of these masks and protective equipment to the general public or general people, as to save our frontline our frontline force, as Bahrain is concerned about the growing cases of the medical staff against this pandemic. Thank you. I yield my time to the floor, to the chair.
Delegate, there is no yielding in moderated caucuses. Yielding is only on NGSLs. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Yes, delegate of Russia, you have floor for next 60 seconds.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, to acknowledge delegate of Russian Federation. Well, global action must including a stimulant package reaching double-digit percentage point of the world GDP, with escalative action to boost the economies of developing countries. When we get this crisis, which we will face the choice. It is said by UN chief. We can go back to the world as it was before, or deal diversely with those issues that make us all necessarily vulnerable to crisis. Thank you so much.
Thank you, delegate.
Thank
Yes,
you so much.
delegate of Monaco, you have floor for next 60 seconds.
Thank you for the recognition, Honorable Chair. Now, as we all know that how badly this health crisis has worsened our facilities and our hospitals, so the delegate of Monaco will straight away go towards the solutions of this crisis. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, we propose that quarantines should be set up in different public spaces that are close to the public, because we see that in many hospitals are exhausting, and these places will be the best way to accommodate all the growing number of patients. Second of all, we would like to convince all the self-sufficient nations to start funding manufacturing of ventilators. Moreover, other patients other than COVID-19 should also be accommodated in OPD so that they are not left out. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to congratulate this committee, because according to Institute of Biological Research in Israel, we have been given some sort of relief by the approved claim of a vaccine under development. Hence, hence, once it is approved by the World Health Organization, we would also spend money for vaccination and testing kits, so that this virus can be stopped from spreading all over the world. Thank you.
Thank you, delegate.
Antivirus has
Yes,
already
all.
led to the
Hello,
number of workplace
please.
shutdowns in Corona.
Yes, all the delegates wishing to speak for the moderate for this moderate caucus, please raise your hands. Lower down your hand once your name has been added. Going to entertain more speakers, but after this list has ended, so these are the speakers for now. Yes, delegate of Greece, you have floor for next 60 seconds.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, for acknowledging me. Millions of doctors are risking their lives and putting themselves in danger, and two nurses have died, raising the concerns for their safety. The World Health Organization says that frequent and proper hand washing is one of the most important barriers against spreading this virus, yet 39% of the healthcare facilities in 78 developing countries do not have hand washing soap. And then there is also panic buying. So, as a delegate of Greece, I'd like to propose this solution that the United Nations and the governments of countries should work hand in hand to provide proper healthcare facilities, as our healthcare officials are our only resource in combating this virus. Extensive and proactive testing should be put in place. Thank you.
Thank you, delegate. Delegate, it was delegate of Greece, right?
Yes.
Okay. Delegate of Bahrain, you have floor for next 60 seconds. Delegate of Bahrain, you have floor for next 60 seconds. Seeing no response from delegate of Bahrain, we are moving to delegate of Russia. Delegate of Russia, you have floor for next 60 seconds.
Hello, hear me?
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Honorable Chair, to acknowledge the Federation, Russian Federation. The delegate of Russian Federation is telling you about how to protect the people. The COVID-19 virus has already led to the number of workplace shutdown, quarantine. Retailer must have a plan that ensures the safety of the employees while also trying to maintain business as usual activities. Beyond simply creating a crisis communication plans, retailers should be thinking about how they will manage their workforce under various different scenarios. Thank you so much.
Yes, delegate of Jordan, you have floor for next 60 seconds.
Thanks, Honorable Chair. It is more important to maintain strict standards for the quality of diagnostic tests than for the quantity of equipment and structures. Quality of diagnostic tests can be maintained by World Health Organization's assistance. World Health Organization should create an urgent task force with members in all states responsible for quality control of tests, recommending all states to increase on field medical staff. According to statistic public in New York Times, medical staff of most of the countries is underpaid and are not even being compensated for the risks they face by maintaining interaction with COVID-19 patients. Hence, would like to suggest that higher payments may help to prevent medium-run burnout even if they do not induce short-run increase in work hours. Thanks.
Thank you, Delegate. Yes, Delegate of Sudan, you have floor for next 60 seconds.
The impact and solutions to COVID-19 in conflict regions. It is imperative to adopt a nonviolent approach to inform communities about the COVID-19 because down the communities, they are totally unaware about this COVID-19. So social distancing, quarantine, isolation against further spread is necessary to teach the rural areas. Using the case study of the Sudanese that came back from Woho, it is imperative to use same measure to tell them about this COVID-19. It is sensitive to the crisis region. It is also important that relief materials be sent to rural dwellers who may not be able to afford it because of the nature of their farms and the destructions of their farms. It is also imperative to call for health workers and volunteers to tackle this impending outbreak in other regions. Majority of the businesses have been shut down, and it is important that digital practitioners begin to teach
Delegate,
people
your
the
time
new
has
methods.
elapsed. Delegate, your time has elapsed. Thank you. Yes, Delegate of Mexico, you have floor for next 60 seconds.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, for recognizing me. As we all know that doctors, staff workers, and nurses are our army at the front line to protect us from this disease. What we all should do, and the delegate of Mexico reminds everybody that please help the doctors. The government should help the doctors, give them proper facilities, give them proper pharmaceuticals. And if they're lacking food, if they're having food shortages, please give them proper rations, and a rationing system should be established. And also that please give them ventilators, and also would urge the governments to help them and to spread the awareness of the coronavirus disease amongst the people. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate. Though the time for this caucus has elapsed, but as far as there were some technical difficulties in between, there was some time like loopholes in which your time was disturbed. So I'm going you extra 5 minutes, and we are going to entertain 5 more speakers for this caucus. So all those wishing to speak, please raise your hand. Yes, delegate of Brazil, you have floor for next 60 seconds.
Thank you, Chair. We as a delegation of Brazil states that this pandemic challenges even the strongest health systems all around the world, as we observe crash in Italy and Spain, which lead to further increase in death toll and lead to patient preference, which ruins the human right of getting equal health care. Thousands of doctors are infected by this pandemic due to lack of enough source, like face masks. Most of them are working when they are fighting against the virus, as doctors in both Iran and Turkey died while taking care of patients due to lack of health employee. As a solution, we would like to ask for all countries to generalize the usage of robots in the health system, prevent close impact, and provide appropriate isolation for patients in both home and hospital. And also follow the directions about the personal hygiene given by WHO. Even though it seems impossible for some countries, funds can donate them to those who need help.
Thank you, delegate. Your time is elapsed. Delegates, please take care of time. When you have message on the screen, this message being displayed, please stop speaking. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, delegate of Russia, you have floor for next 60 seconds.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, to acknowledge the delegate of Russian Federation. Now, everybody talking about my honorable delegates are talking about the impacts on health sector, but is everybody know how it's spreading? Mostly in three transmission, it is spreading mostly. First is a droplet transmission, second is contact transmission, and third one is airborne transmission. In droplet transmission, it's spreading by cough and sing, and in contact transmission, it is spreading by contacting each other, by gatherings, and in airborne, it is
Thank you, delegate.
when
Delegate, time is elapsed.
thank you so much, sir.
Yes, delegate of Sweden, you have floor for next 60 seconds.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. We, delegates of Sweden, would want to say that the health implications of the COVID-19 has been experienced from both child and adulthood. But we will state that digital health solutions can be effectively used throughout the entire coronavirus life cycle, from post-quarantine testing and also from triage and emergencies. It is imperative that we must at all costs try all we can to avoid and minimize contact, because that is the only way to break the spread. And hence, we are proposing digital health solutions than the normal human to human solutions. This is one sure way of minimizing
Thank you,
and
delegate.
also using
Thank you.
technology. Thank you.
Yes, delegate of Bahrain, you have floor for next 60 seconds.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. The Kingdom of Bahrain has concerns over the closure of industries around the world. The world is already on a shortage of ventilators. Bahrain emphasizes on the opening of the industries so to start the construction of vents all over the world. Kingdom appreciates the efforts of the People Republic of China for supplying the medical equipment and standing with the people in this urgency of time. Kingdom wants other countries of the world who may not be severely affected by the COVID-19 but still have facilities more than their needs to help the third world countries. The Kingdom of Bahrain assures full-fledged support to the people of the world. Protection and ease of our people remain our priority. The Kingdom of Bahrain is working with the World Health Organization along with 8 more countries to find a solution to this coronavirus pandemic and assures that no matter what it takes, no matter how much it costs, the Kingdom of Bahrain will keep its efforts in finding a proper solution to this pandemic. Thank you.
Thank you, delegate. Delegate, basically, I set the timer to 45 minutes because I started it 15 seconds later. That's why.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, for recognizing me. To add my voice, as the COVID-19 cases continually increases, logistics and health professionals have been in shortage. It is my proposition as delegate of Portugal that retired health professionals as well as students in their final year in the health schools should be employed to come into the scene to help solve this minute. In doing this as well, we propose that insurance packages be made available for these frontline health practitioners to serve as a source of motivation for them to actively do their work. Additionally, to combat the case of logistics, we encourage that the general public should not be quick to use logistics such as the face masks and those things that are supposed to be used by the health professionals to protect themselves. It is our view that education be made available.
Thank you, delegate. Thank you, delegate. The time is elapsed. So.
Hello, honorable delegates. So we do have the hand raised of Russia to be recognized. Are there any more speakers willing to be added onto the list? Kindly raise your hands. We are aware that there were a few delegates.
Ma'am, can you please repeat what you said?
If you are willing to be added onto the list, kindly raise your hand.
List of what?
The caucus that is being discussed.
Oh.
Of being recognized. Right. So it is the delegate of India, Sudan, Portugal, and Bahrain. Thank you, honorable delegates. Delegate of India, the floor is yours.
So I would like to tell the world that we have been pouring out money in massive destruction weapons. But now when COVID-19 has hit the world, the flaws in the medical sector has come up with a about the subcontinent, there are there are two nuclear powers here, Pakistan and India. But when it comes to their medical sector, we have much less quantity of ventilators. We don't have that much equipped force for fighting this. So on the global level, when we see America is also under a very large hit of coronavirus, even England is. So the United Nations should work on this, and we should need to under the flag of United Nations, we should work on this.
Thank you, Delegate. Your time is elapsed.
Thank you, Honorable Delegate. Delegate of Sudan, you have the floor.
Vulnerable countries should be considered when the solutions have been propounded, in the sense that so many of them, the vulnerable countries, are most likely going to have the most escalated effect on this virus. So it is important and it is imperative to issue debt relief for these vulnerable countries so that they can be able to have an economy that can still boom. They can start with digital technology where they can begin to start a new kind of microeconomy that can groom their system back to life. We also have telecommunication channels that should be sent out across all the regions, in the sense that they need to have their presence in all the communities so that they can begin digital education for young children, so that they cannot, so that they don't get deprived of education, the basic education they need.
Thank you, Delegate.
Very much, Delegate. Honorable Delegate of Portugal, the floor is yours.
Thank you for recognizing me. WHO defined health as a complete state of physical, mental, and psychological well-being. Unfortunately, the psychological aspect of people in this pandemic is not being adhered to. It is my proposition that various countries should pay critical attention to the role of the psychological health of people in this very pandemic. Again, as we move in this pandemic, it is my view that more education be made on the chain of infection of this virus, because when the chain is being broken, the virus stops transmitting. So we should pay much attention in educating the general public about the chain of infection of this virus. If we should take this initiative, we will be able to combat this virus. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Delegate. The Delegate of Bahrain, you are the last speaker for this caucus. The floor is yours. Honorable Delegate of Bahrain.
Am I audible? Hello?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are audible.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, for the recognition. The Kingdom of Bahrain has called for volunteers to help the state deal with the crisis. More than 50,000 people have volunteered to help the kingdom resolve this crisis. The purpose of volunteers is to assure some relief for the doctors and the healthcare workers. Bahrain encourages the people to self-quarantine, considering that the people that in some cases it might not be very dangerous, the virus. And Bahrain has also launched a campaign to appreciate the doctors and healthcare workers in order to keep them motivated towards their job, because Bahrain recognizes their sacrifices, standing with humanity in this time of grave danger, a crisis, a global crisis. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate.
Thank you, Honorable Delegates. With this, we come towards the end of this caucus. As per planned, as per the timetable, we will now go into a 10-minute coffee break. Honorable delegates, we have got three motions on the floor. The first motion is how to protect the vulnerable population from COVID-19. The suggested time limit for that is 10 minutes with 1 minute speaker's time individually. The second one is lessons to be learned from Italy. That again is for 10 minutes and individual speaker's time is 1 minute. And the third one is reasons behind the spread of COVID-19 with 30 seconds individual speaker's time and 10-minute total time limit. We would now go into chronology. Before we do that, we're quickly going to mention it onto the GAB chat as well so that you can keep an eye out on them on the WhatsApp group as well in case you get confused. But we would also like name it out individually while we go through the voting procedure. Is that, we hope that is okay. Give us 2 seconds and we are going to sort that out. We hope the mention of all the three suggested motions on the floor on the WhatsApp group has eased for you to decide as well. We would now go into voting procedure for the first moderated caucus that has been suggested. The first one has to do with how to protect the vulnerable populations concerned as far as COVID-19 is concerned, with total speakers time of 10 minutes, individual speakers time 1 minute. All delegates wishing to support this motion, please raise your hands now. Please raise your hands now. With a majority of 8 delegates, this motion passes. It would have been 9, but UK's delegate has not put their hand down from the last session, so it is 8, and this moderated caucus passes. We would now consider entertaining speakers who would like to be speaking for this moderated caucus. The speaker, the delegate who raised the motion in the first go, the floor is yours now.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, for recognizing me. I think pandemic spreads, it endangers the life of everyone, but most precisely, it endangers some fewer people who are more targeted by this coronavirus. Like older people have a larger chance of getting this coronavirus. Patients, heart patients, diabetes, and asthma. The patients who have these diseases are more vulnerable to this disease. And moreover, babies being the most vulnerable to this COVID danger, and age of 5 or young people are more vulnerable. Now, the delegate of Mexico mentioned this, and now the solutions being proposed is that no vaccine is available, so preventive measures are the best. Self-isolation, social distancing, and maintaining a proper hygiene. Moreover, adopting a healthy lifestyle, and the governments and the parents supporting their children to stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Delegate. Delegates wishing to be added onto the speakers list for this particular caucus, please raise your hands now. Delegate of Jordan. Delegate of Monaco to be added. Jordan, Monaco, and Philippines to be added. Delegate of Portugal, you have the floor. Delegate of Portugal.
Thank you for recognizing me, Vice Chair. Thank you for recognizing me, Vice Chair.
Yes.
In the midst of this pandemic, as said by the earlier speaker, there are a section of people who are more vulnerable to this disease. And so in that regard, the delegate of Portugal will propose the following solutions to help them. One, to stop the spread of panic, as panic will increase their level of anxiety, and as it serves as a form of stressor that would weaken their immune system. Additionally, these people should be encouraged to take good nutrition. Good nutrition would boost their immune system to help them fight against this COVID-19 should they get it. Additionally, we can as well give these people supplementation to help boost their nutritional level so that their immunity will be well maintained. We can as well encourage them to do regular exercises to ensure that they are fit. Thank you, Wise
Thank you,
Speaker.
Delegate.
Thank you, Honorable Delegate. Thank you very much. Honorable Delegate of Jordan, you have the floor.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, for recognizing me. The COVID-19 affect anyone of any age. The risk to get infected is higher for people with weak immune systems, like people over 60 years of age, smokers, and infants. Delegate of Jordan would like to propose a solution to lower the risk of people getting infected by this virus. Solution to save smokers from getting infected by this disease: smoking should be completely banned, and cigarette production companies should be guided to stop their production lines till the end of COVID-19. Additionally, there should be strict implementation of laws for all the cigarette production houses and sellers. Delegate of Jordan would also like to propose another solution to save people of different ages from COVID-19. World Health Organization (WHO) should distribute free masks and sanitizer to the people of developing and underdeveloped countries. Financial cost of these masks should be covered by World Health Organization assisted by IMF. Thanks.
Thank you, Delegate.
Honorable the Delegate of Monaco, you have the floor.
Thank you for the recognition, Honorable Chair. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as we know that the people under the age of 5 and above the age of 60 are the most vulnerable to catch this disease, and furthermore, the people with weak immune systems are vulnerable as well, as per the topic. So, ladies and gentlemen, we see that to propose a solution to this, we see that the best option for the people with weak immune systems is self quarantining. Ladies and gentlemen, if some person will not get in contact, he will have a far less chance of getting caught with this virus. Now, people with weak immune systems, all of their necessities should be fulfilled, and according to the US Health Ministry, it is said that some antibiotics that are taken to cure asthma and some sort of other diseases that are related to bones can further weaken the immune systems. Hence, we propose that other alternative medicines should be produced to
Thank you,
combat
Delegate.
these.
Thank you very much, Honorable Delegate. Thank you. Thank you very much. Honorable Delegate of Philippines.
Thank you, Honorable Dice, for recognizing Delegate of Philippines. Delegates, may I remind you the most vulnerable are the most affected, such as the elderly and those with pre-existing medical conditions. So let's just jump out to solutions. Countries must be implementing effective containment strategies by activating and enhancing emergency response systems, by dramatically increasing testing capacities and care for patients, by readying hospitals and ensuring they have the space, supplies, and needed personnel, and by developing life-saving medical interventions. And all those have a responsibility too. They must go in self-exile, self-lockdown, because that is the only possible solution. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Delegate. The Delegate of Russia, you have the floor now.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, to acknowledge the delegate of Russian Federation. Here we go. The rapidly spreading coronavirus pandemic is taking a particularly harsh toll on older people. Data from the initial outbreak in China, then Italy, show that the infected people under the age of 60s are at low, but not no risk of dying from COVID-19. More recent data from the US suggests that the higher rate of people in their 30s and 40s have experienced severe illness and even death than previous thoughts. Curiously, young children do not appear to be at the increasing risk of serious COVID-19 complications. In
Thank
Thank
you.
you, delegate.
contrast, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much, Honorable Delegate. The Delegate
Thank
of
you.
Greece, you are next.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, for acknowledging the delegate of Greece. Now, according to a survey, the vast majority of cases in China, almost 87%, were recorded between people aged between 30 to 79 years old, which makes it clear that older aged people are more susceptible to this virus. As a delegate of Greece, I'd like to propose a few solutions. Firstly, emphasis should be put on home diagnosis and care, which means that healthcare professionals can visit the homes of such elderly people or people with low immunity so that they are not exposed to the outside world by going out of their homes. Moreover, since the psychological pressure is increasing, especially in those people, psychological support should be provided through online therapy lessons, and community centers should help the elderly by getting their groceries or by visiting them outside their houses and making sure that they have all the supplies they need so that they don't need to go out of their houses to make them available. The young people should also show responsibility.
Thank you,
Thank you,
delegate.
Honorable Delegate. The Delegate of Mexico, you are next.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, for recognizing me. As we already have discussed that people who have immunodeficiency and the elderly and the young age people ranging to 5 have most of the chance to get the disease infection. The immunocompromised leaves the immune system impaired, and it can take longer time to cure the coronavirus. However, what the countries should do is that they should prevent from all the elderly to going outside, and the elderly themselves should keep themselves at home and social distance, and if so they should self isolate themselves too. Moreover, the teenagers should stop going outside and assume that this disease is the disease as a pandemic and take it very seriously. All governments to please support this Thank
Thank you,
Thank you,
Honorable.
delegate.
Thank you, Honorable Delegate. The Delegate of Portugal, you have the floor.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, for recognizing Delegate of Portugal. The Delegate of Portugal would like to state that people with weak immune systems, such as HIV patients, tend to shun away from going to the health facility these days because of the outbreak of COVID-19. This is an increasing worry to the global community. It is my proposition that various governments should ensure that their family health physicians are well robust enough, such that these physicians will get to the homes of various HIV patients as well as these weak or immunocompromised patients, so that they will be able to attend to their needs. HIV patients should be encouraged to take their regular antiretroviral drugs to ensure that their CD4 count is boosted. Additionally, people who have disease condition like asthma should be encouraged to stay away from triggers such as smoking and other allergens. This, in a way, would help combat the situation.
Thank you, Honorable Delegate. The Delegate of Monaco, you have the floor.
Thank you for the recognition, Honorable Chair. Now, continuing with what the delegate of Monaco left, ladies and gentlemen, we have also been given a relief somehow, because recently in Wuhan, a suit was specifically made for the elderly, which was manufactured using silicone and plastic, and that suit can block the virus from the back or the front, not even through their inhaling systems, which tells us that since it's made of cheap products, it can be easily produced on a large scale, for which Monaco is happy to give funds to. Furthermore, we see that to to the solution of finding to the solution of finding the cure for the virus, it is most probably eligible for the government to basically fulfill the necessities of the infected people with weak immune system, so that they do not have to go out and get their necessities in which they can get the virus. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Delegate. Unfortunately, the time for this caucus has lapsed. Honorable Delegate of Bahrain, apologies. You shall be recognized in the next debate session.